Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas Gopalkrishnan. On our show today is, of course, Colonel Shredder, and we'll be breaking down for you one of the most sensational stories that actually is developing as far as Pakistan's dirty spy games are concerned. In fact, they've now been exposed and Times Now has accessed exclusive details of how ISI functioned as the nerve center of Pakistan's espionage network. The entire modus operandi has been unlocked through chats that Pakistan intelligence operatives had with alleged Indian nationals who in fact allegedly spied for Pakistan. One such individual is Noma Nilahi, suspected spy who was arrested from Panipat. Noam was in touch with the Pakistan intelligence operative named Iqbal Khana through social media apps and voice calls. Times Now has accessed several such chats which, as per sources, happened during Operation Sindoor. Now, Noma and Ilahi is in these particular chats seen that, please forgive me, let's take a look at these transcripts that we've accessed. Please forgive me, I haven't committed any mistake. You are there for me. This is the arrested accused Noma and Ilahi. The response from the Pak intelligence operative, who's his handler, Iqbal Khana, is that you will have to do my work. You will have to do it now, is what he says in response. Give 2 printouts of the army's location is what is told. Now, Noman says that just give me 2 days. He then said the response from Iqbal Khana is go to Kashmir, get me 2 photographs of the cantonment is what is stated. Noman Ilahi then responds, yes, boss. Iqbal Khana says good. Now, this is as far as the first transcript that we've accessed is concerned. Now, security agencies have also found a voice call in the mobile phone in which Iqbal Khana purportedly is asking for details about trains which pass through Amritsar and Jalandhar, and their destination points are Jammu and Kashmir. No one has replied to Khana's queries. He, however, has deleted his voice call. During raids, security agencies and Haryana police have seized 6 passports from Noman's premises. All are Indian passports with Pakistani entry and exit visa stamps. Let's quickly take this across to Priyank and Bhavtosh, who are bringing us this big story at the moment. Priyank, very interesting to see how, in fact, it's not 1 or 2, but multiple cases in which there is a similar modus operandi. There are Indian individuals who are in touch with their various handlers from Pakistan. And this case of Noman shows that there was very specific intelligence about certain targets here in India that Pakistan wanted information for. Priyank.
Yes, certainly, Madhav, the Pakistan ISI suddenly started using all these assets which they were growing and developing over the period of many years. Starting from Jyoti Malhotra, who was mentally indoctrinated by the Pakistani ISI for this kind of time period. Then you have Noman, who was resident of Sambal. The area from where we have seen that multiple terror outfit individuals have also emerged. Now, while talking about Noman also, he was contacted by his handlers to provide more information. Similar to that, Jyoti Malhotra was also contacted by Danish, her handler, to provide some information while the Operation Sindoor was happening during the blackout time period. So far, 11 individuals have been arrested. So on one side, when our forces have been giving a very befitting reply to the Pakistani, the ISI was certainly trying to gather much more information regarding the kind of development which was happening in India. And these chats are certainly significant in the investigation. That's why what we have seen that the joint teams of NIA, which came here in Hisar, along with the IP officials, have already questioned Jyoti Malhotra. Okay. Although there is no army installation document or defense installation.
Very important, very significant that the NIA has also stepped in. What will that investigation reveal remains to be seen. Priyank, stay with us because, and Bhavtosh as well, because we are going to get in more details as far as the Haryana-based YouTuber Jyoti is concerned, who has also been arrested and is under the scanner as well. Now, the probe has revealed that Jyoti did not possess any sensitive or critical information. But then, why was she arrested? Sources say that she was arrested because she was allegedly in touch with her handlers before and after Operation Sindoor. It's learned that Jyoti Malhotra was in touch with her handler Danish a day before Operation Sindoor and for the next few days. Remember, Danish is the official of the Pakistan High Commission who was declared persona non grata after his links to the spy racket surfaced. Investigators are also looking into whether YouTubers, including Jyoti, had allegedly received illegal gratification from the Pakistan High Commission to portray Pakistan in a positive light. That's a question that's being asked. Times Now, in fact, has also accessed Jyoti's travel history. Sources say she traveled to Pakistan 3 times in 2 years. That's the information coming in. Let's quickly bring that up on the screen as well. She's also visited a host of other countries as well. Now, this includes China as well. Let's look at the visits to Pakistan while we're talking about it. First visited in April 2023 for the 324th Vaisakhi Festival. Let's also bring in the various details that have come in of 2024. As far as April 17 to May 25th is concerned, she visited Pakistan again. And then there's a third visit that takes place where she allegedly also visited China after her Pakistan trip in 2024. She's also visited Nepal, Bangladesh, Dubai, Thailand and Indonesia as well, is the information coming in. She's visited Kashmir in November 2024, where she's accompanied by another social media influencer, and then in 2025, this year, has also visited Pakistan in March. That's as far as the latest information coming in is concerned. Let's listen in.
हम लोग को वॉचफुल होना चाहिए, हमें रिस्पॉन्सिबल होना चाहिए. अगर उन टेररिस्ट को कोई भी सपोर्ट कर रहा है तो उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं तो वी आर नॉट इंडियन. अगर हम लोग ही करप्ट हैं, हम लोग ही गलत हैं, तो वो चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा झकझोर करने वाली है. किसी भी कंट्री के लिए वो बहुत ज़्यादा गलत है. अगर किसी ने भी उन टेररिस्ट को सपोर्ट किया है तो बहुत गलत चीज़ है और उसमें हम खुद रिस्पॉन्सिबल हैं.
All right, Bhavtosh, very interesting to see the version of Jyoti. There are several videos of her even at the Pakistan High Commission that have come out in the public domain. Here's somebody who was very clearly dealing with these authorities. What are your sources telling you about the role of Jyoti? If she did not possess sensitive information, why was she in touch with these individuals from Pakistan? One of them, of course, is Danish, who is an ISI spy who, of course, has been removed by India from his position. They have been declared persona non grata.
Well, Madhav, the case investigation in the case has just started, but what we have gathered from our sources is the fact that she was in direct touch with Danish, who has now been given persona non grata, and this happened just a day before Operation Sindoor, and she was asked specific question about the blackout. Not only she, but others who have been arrested in this case. Remember, for any ISI or for that matter any intelligence agency, they need assets. Now they have managed to get at least 21 assets. All of them have been arrested by various state police, whether it's Punjab police or whether it's Haryana police. But the very fact that there are 21 such individuals who, for illegal gratification, for bribe or for any reason, were giving information directly to ISI or to Pakistan intelligence operative is a very disturbing trend. In fact, Punjab police today said that 2 persons who have been arrested were giving direct information to ISI handlers, and these information were very sensitive information pertaining to troop movement in Punjab, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu. That's the worrying aspect as far as this case is concerned. Investigation continues. These are not individuals who were doing disservice to the country, but many say are enemy within the country, because ISI just paid them some amount of money, around 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees, and they were directly giving this information to the handlers through mobile phone or through encrypted social media
channels. Stay with us, Bhavtosh and Priyank, because confession videos of the suspect show that the Pakistani espionage network was being operated through its High Commission in India, targeting, in fact, Indian nationals seeking Pakistani visas. Tarif was arrested by Haryana police, initially approached the Pakistan High Commission to secure a visa. However, instead of a straightforward visa process, he was asked to provide Indian SIM cards to Pakistani intelligence officer Asif. Tarif later turned into a middleman, bringing in more Indian clients. He and the PIO allegedly charged 15,000 rupees per visa. Later on, Tarif was asked to send pictures of Sirsa Air Base as well.
उसी नंबर से बात करता था वो. उसने भी अभी ये कहा कि तू एक काम कर, पैसा कमाना है दोनों को और बंदा भेज देख रहे. अब तो दुनिया 15-15 हज़ार रुपये दे रही है. 10,000 से कम किसी से मत करिए बात. आधा तो ले लियो, आधा मैं ले लूँगा. दोनों पैसा कमाऊंगा. मैं चल ठीक है. फिर उसने कहा कि अब तो है जो सिम से काम नहीं चलेगा, अब तो वीज़ा नहीं लगेगा तेरा. जब मैं वीज़ा ले गया तो अब कुछ हमारे लिए कुछ करना पड़ेगा और उसके लिए हम तुझे लाखों रुपये देंगे. जहाँ भेजेंगे वहाँ जा सकता है. अब मैंने वहाँ तो उनके सामने हाँ भर ली. फिर उसने कहा कि सिरसा जाना है और एयरफोर्स से जो उसके बारे में उसकी फ़ोटो वीडियो कुछ हमें देनी पड़ेगी.
All right, Bhavtosh and Priyank, I'd like to thank both of you for joining us with those breaking inputs on the show. And let's quickly open this up and take it across to our guests joining us. With us is Colonel Shailendra here in the studio. Our other guests will also join us from outside. We have Mr. P.K. Jain, former Additional DGP of Maharashtra. Professor Madhav Nalapat is a geopolitical analyst joining us. Colonel Shailendra Singh, just look at the number of plots that have been busted. It's not one or two, at least three of them coming out of the public domain. And we believe there could be several others who Pakistan is trying to influence, who's trying to ensure that they gather basic information, including the kind of targets, the kind of areas that they've been chosen, many of them being bribed with money and God knows what else.
Jai Hind, Namaskar. Let me tell you very clearly, spying is a very, very serious business. It involves a lot of planning, it involves a lot of money, it involves a lot of, psychological analysis. It also involves that people are doing research behind the scene, that whom to target, how to target. But one common thing is, always, every time you will find that the money always plays up. There is a greed for money, there is a need for money, where the culprit has to succumb to that pressure. If we talk about the YouTuber, well, the pressure on her must have been that she wants to succeed. And she has got needs which are much higher. She must have thought initially, oh my God, see, they are giving me importance. But then that importance turns into something else. I'll disagree with anybody who says that nothing was found on her. Well, are we waiting for that? Only then we will arrest her. No, when you find the links, when you find the connections correct, then you are supposed to arrest that gentleman or the lady that yes, she is part of that espionage. Very simple. As far as others are concerned, I'm actually taking it very seriously. If somebody is trying to find out what is happening at Jalandhar and Amritsar, that too connected with trains, there is something coming up very big. But let me tell you, this is not the end of it. These 8 to 10 people getting caught is nothing. It is only a tip of the iceberg. You will have hundreds of them who themselves also won't know that they are actually going to do the spying. If somebody has told him to go to Sirsa, he will not get an entry in Sirsa. But, the kind of money which will be paid, he'll go click a photograph here, there, wherever, and come back. But when Pakistan is concerned, it will, link together such more people who are doing similar job for the similar place. This is a very typical thing that you feel that he has only asked me my name, but somebody else would have asked me my father's name. Somebody else would have asked my grandfather's name. And then the connection starts, how to reach you and how to trap you.
True. And let me bring in Professor Nalapat on this. Professor Nalapat, we've seen a similar situation in the past where, there was the case of Madhuri Gupta, where they specifically profiled her and decided to target her in a particular manner. And this raises some very serious questions as to, particularly in the wake of Operation Sindoor, which is still operational as far as India is concerned, how Pakistan may try and use certain individuals, the enemy within, as it has been referred to in the past, or perhaps even in the case of the world of social media, some of them could end up helping unwittingly. Professor Nalapat.
Well, I'd like to point out that in the age of hybrid war, we are not simply talking of soldiers with guns or army, the Navy and the Air Force. We are talking of people who are like you and me, frankly. And we are talking about people who then, because they look like you and me, are basically accessed. Whatever they do is basically accessed by possibly lakhs of people who are similar to you and me. So the point is, the game is to build a fast breeder reactor for terror modules. So you have, let's say, 100 modules, let it grow to 1,000, let it grow to 10,000. If you don't keep track of it, if you don't check it, it can grow exponentially. The number 0, you put it by itself, any number of zeros is still 0. Put even 1 in front of it, and each time you add a 0, it grows and grows and grows exponentially. So that is their intention. And may I say one more thing? I mean, it's not a secret that innocent blood has been shed, not only in Pahalgam, but in so many other places. And innocent blood has been shed also in fomenting communal riots. I've studied so many communal riots. I can tell you, Madhav, in very many of them, in fact, the overwhelming majority of them, money is involved. People are incentivized, basically, to create, and now with the help of memes, you are incentivized to hate your people, hate your government, have contempt for them, and by implication, therefore, those who are against your country, well, what's wrong with what they're doing? After all, according to you, it's a horrible country, but actually, it's the very reverse of that. So I think, frankly, I'm delighted these networks are being rolled up. The sooner they're rolled up, the better, because the more of these networks there are, the more innocent blood will be spilled. And frankly, Madhav, we have lost so much innocent blood, it's beyond count. The good news is that India, as a country, over the last, since 2014, has done a lot of work on digital infrastructure. So as a consequence, you can access almost anything on digital media. And so you can't escape by using digital media. So
Absolutely.
you have
the digital footprint will be there, and certainly, of course, as far as all those cyber threats are concerned as well, there are very many who are vigilant towards that threat as well. But let me bring in PK Jain, former additional DGP of Maharashtra. Mr. PK Jain, just look at the kind of targets that are being discussed over here. In one case of Noman, it is 2 cantonments in Kashmir. In the case of another individual, it is the Sirsa airbase that is spoken about. All of this is significant because, we have seen how Pakistan has attempted to, target similar areas, even in the recent skirmishes when they were trying to file missiles, etc.
Thank you very much, Madhav, for having me here on this show. See, it's a fact that Pakistan has been at it for a long time. They have been creating sleeper cells, they have been cultivating them, they have been nurturing them over a long period of time. And now first to start, they have used honey traps, they have used money, and subsequently they have used blackmail. Everything that is in a spy's archery is there, in his Tarkash. They have used to cultivate the spies here. Now, all these people, the moment somebody says that you get me the photographs of an air base or an army cantonment or the movement of an army unit, immediately I'm sure that all these people are exposed enough to the world and the reality of life that they are being used as spies, and yet they go along for whatever reason. Sometimes it is money, sometimes it is pure blackmail at the end of it. Now, these people, as my predecessor has just now said, it is only the tip of the iceberg. There would be any number of people who have been cultivated over a period of time. There are n number of people in this country. Unfortunately, the threat comes from within more than it comes from outside. There are n number of people in the country who are willing to play the game of Pakistan and the handlers sitting in the Pakistani embassy in Delhi. Now, with half of the staff having been chucked out already, you can imagine that even about 25 to 30% sitting in the embassy can wreak havoc. Every small information is valuable because the unit number, where is this unit moving? The army post office, you have a system in the army of having an APO. Now, but the markings on the vehicles, the location, their location outside, their movement on the road, everything is important. And during the wartime, it is important for the enemy to gather this kind of information to ensure, to find out as to where the army is moving, where the air force is moving, what are the bases, what is the kind of preparedness, etc., etc. So right. I think the NIA and the police is on the right track, tracking these modules and expanding their scope of inquiry. Now, what is happening is that after having arrested 6 of them in the first place, now the scope is increasing because they are all having hands.
And I, in fact, want to point out to some of the information that we are putting out as well, Colonel Shailendra, because here is an individual who has traveled to Pakistan thrice, who has gone to China even, has visited several other countries. But these visits in themselves should perhaps, raise the alertness levels of our authorities, would you say, given the kind of nature of the destinations that has been chosen by this person?
You see, not only that, even she would have never realized where she is, what is she doing. If you will actually go through her accounts, you will see most of the, bills would have not been paid by her. It would have been obliged to her. The bigger part is that, yes, our own intelligence agencies must be on a lookout. But more than that, why can't you and me be also on a lookout? If I have a relative, I have a brother who is suddenly doling into money, that means there is this money coming from somewhere. What is he doing? Why is he going 3 times to, let's say, Pakistan? Why there is a connection of China? Why can't we also see it and, raise the heckle that, no, this is not done. Let me tell you, these are those dots. One person does a dot here. He thinks there is nothing there. There is another one now. Like to me, Sonipat, what could be the importance of Sonipat to Pakistan? I don't know that. but they will they will connect the dots, and you will find that it leads to something very big. When we are talking, I am just taking my own example on this. Sonipat, why is it important? Why the trains? Why the Jalandhar? Why the Amritsar? Is it not a connection of Samjhauta? This is the route which everybody takes. Yes. Where does it stop? How much are the waiting period? From where can somebody get in? From where can somebody get out? I'm just making a theoretical example of this. Right. So this is how you get trapped, maybe honey trapped, money trapped, or maybe out of sheer frustration. Correct. But then you are in a trap, you find it very difficult to realize it, but at the same time, by the time you realize it, it is inescapable.
Absolutely. And Professor Nalapat, that is the most important part, isn't it? Because, we've seen similar sort of honey traps, we've seen similar sort of attempts being used. And as you were mentioning earlier, social media also is one route through which all of that can happen. You don't even need to physically meet the person to actually begin that conversation.
Madhav, I've talked of honeybees and money bees, honey traps and money traps. And these are the two methods most commonly used apart from blackmail. Now, one of these methods will be used. And the reality of the situation is that we have to constantly be on alert. We have to be on alert for messaging that basically denigrates and degrades our country and its 6,000-year-old heritage, and frankly degrades the leadership in a time of hybrid war. I mean, unless you have confidence in the leadership, then the country becomes a bit difficult, to face up to the enemy. So, of course, there have been statements that possibly Pakistan may be replaced by a military government. I don't think so. I think the civilian government will do whatever the military wants, and that's all the military wants. But the reality is we have to constantly be on our guard. And in that sense, I would say this kind of program at this point in time, I would say is very, very useful, because watch out for honey traps, watch out for money traps, and in any case, even if you're not trapped, watch out for being influenced by individuals who are honey trapped or money trapped, because frankly, you must keep in mind the need for a strong, robust feeling of security, absolutely, a strong, robust confidence in the leadership, which is what we have in India under Prime Minister Modi.
Absolutely. Mr. P.K. Jain, I want you to come in on this because, here is an individual who's, fairly well educated, it at least appears from her videos, etc. Even if they could, come down to such a person and ensure that she was within their influence, this raises very serious questions. If she had not been, for instance, apprehended, then she could have perhaps turned out to be a very important and a high-value asset for Pakistan.
No, that's a fact. They have been, during the entire narrative that was built up prior to Operation Sindoor, and when the entire, this butchery took place in Pahalgam, you see the whole lot of YouTubers had become active in Pakistan, and a narrative was being created. Now, an Indian influential YouTuber and the likes of her, the kind of damage they can do to the psyche of the people by telling them that Pakistan is not in the wrong. You can imagine the damage being done to the armed forces, damage being done to the polity of this country and the life of this country.
True.
So I think they cultivate people like that over a period of time. These people are also looking for some kind of recognition. They are looking for money. They are looking for facilities. And if all those things are provided to them...
Well, those pressures might be there, but at the end of the day, if you're sacrificing on national interest, it's bound to raise serious questions. And we certainly hope that this program is something that educates people of what not to do, particularly when it comes to such kind of circumstances. I'd like to thank all our guests for joining us, Colonel Shailendra, Dr. Nalapat, as well as Mr. P.K. Jain. Slipping into a quick break for now.